We'll get started in just a few minutes. Hello, everybody. I'm Matt Sherman. This is my first time doing Facebook Live, so um, send me a message if you can't hear me or having any trouble um, with the video. You should be able to see a picture of me and PatternCloud in the background. Okay, I guess I got someone saying that they can hear me. Okay, well, very good. Again, I'm Matt Sherman. Um, I've been with Gamble for quite a while. This is my first time doing Facebook Live, so this is kind of a new experience for me. Um, so today we're going to be demonstrating the today we're going to be demonstrating PatternCloud and all the different features that you can do with that, how it interacts with Creative Studio, and how everything works. Um, we'll be starting with how to set up an account, and then we'll be talking about how you register with your email. Um, we'll be talking about how you register your Stitcher, about how you search for patterns, and how you can buy patterns, how you can upload patterns directly to the cloud, and then how you can get those into Creative Studio. So this is what Creative Studio looks like when you first get on. If you're not logged in, if you're logged in, it'll look a little different. If you want to know more about Creative Studio, here's a video you can watch. It's a good introduction video to Creative Studio. Um, there's several frequently asked questions that may be helpful for you here. Um, you know, like one of them is PatternCloud necessary to use Creative Studio 7? The answer for that is no, but it is very helpful to have PatternCloud. PatternCloud is like having a big USB stick in the sky that you can move patterns between your stitchers and between your computers. It doesn't have to be just patterns you've bought. It can be patterns that you've designed or modified. It's a very useful tool. Um, Another one is, if I use PatternCloud and sync my patterns, does this share them with the world? And the answer is no, it does not. Every pattern is encrypted and protected, so that only you will be able to get your patterns from PatternCloud. And the next question is there a cost to use PatternCloud? And there is none. There is no cost to use it. And the store feature is so that you can buy patterns if you want. There are quite a few patterns that are free in there. You do have to do a minimum purchase of $15 to be able to get the free patterns. And that's just because of the bookkeeping and accounting stuff that we have to do in the back end. And how do you access PatternCloud? Right here at patterncloud.com, which I've typed in my browser here. or you can access it through Creative Studio. And does it work with encrypted patterns? And yes, it does. It works very well. In fact, that's one of the reasons we made it, is that once you've logged into multiple different stitchers that you own, you can sync your encrypted patterns between all of those. In the past, you would have to go back to the designer and get each one of those encrypted differently. But because PatternCloud encrypts everything as it passes through it, it's safe for you and for the designer. And so therefore, you can use it as a tool to move encrypted patterns around. Here at the top is another useful area called education. And in there is several videos that are quite helpful on PatternCloud, the welcome video, the shopping overview, and even if you are interested in becoming a pattern designer, there's a good video there on how to get started with that. Not many people know that all the videos, help videos for Creative Studio are here. You can click on each one of these, and there's a bunch of videos inside that. These videos are also available inside Creative Studio. Elevate has several videos here. There's usually information about quilting with confidence, and the events page will link you to that. Obviously, not too many events going on now because of the all virtual events. So what I'm going to show you now is how to get started with a PatternCloud account. And then we'll get into some more things. Probably several of you already have a PatternCloud account, but maybe some of you don't. So what you'll do is you'll click Create Account, and then you'll put in your email address. This is just an email address I just made up for this. I'll probably be deleting afterwards. Include me in there's a check mark where I default to include you in Gamel's email newsletter. That's a really helpful newsletter. It tells you about events like this and various other things that are going on. That if you have a Gamel, you definitely should be getting the Gamel email newsletter. Last name. Here, I'll make the screen a little bigger so you can see a little better. I'm putting in a fictitious address, but you should put in your real address. All this is encrypted and protected. It can sometimes be helpful, especially if you include the phone number. Our support team can contact you if you have a question, and they can use that information to contact you. The address can be useful for letting you know if there's a dealer change or just keeping you in contact with your dealer. And then you have to agree to legal terms, and there's basically standard website legal terms. There's nothing, feel free to read them if you want, but there's really nothing in particular. Then you have to solve this difficult math problem, and just to prove you're a human. Okay, and then this is a new thing as of about 5-6 months ago. PatternCloud, we started doing this. We wanted to confirm that your email was actually accurate, so you do need to use an accurate email when you sign up. So it says what to do here is we'll need to check our email. And so I have this email over here, and you can see we got a welcome from Gamble because we clicked it. We wanted to do the newsletter, and so Gamble sent us a welcome for that. And then we got a welcome to the PatternCloud account. And this is just pretty much standard, like most websites where they'll go to confirm your email address. So I'll just click confirm email address. And then I'm going to need to put in a password here. Usually it doesn't take very long. Yeah, I'll refresh the page and try again. Okay, I think I had my, I don't think I typed it right. Okay, it says, congratulations, your account has been created. Welcome to PatternCloud.com. At Gamble, we view PatternCloud as a great place to back up your patterns, purchase new ones, and place to learn new and exciting things about your Gamble Stitcher. We hope you love it as much as we do. And then the fast menu to the website is a My Cloud icon. I'm gonna move. Yeah. Okay. So underneath account, you'll have your patterns. You can manage your tags. So I'll go to my patterns right now. I don't have any patterns yet. Just to get some here, I'll go ahead and upload a pattern. I was going to show you that in a little bit anyway, but I might as well show you now. So I'm going to go ahead and upload a pattern. Upload a few more. Okay. So here's some patterns that are uploaded, and so that shows you how you can upload patterns. I probably should have shown you that you can also add tags to the pattern at that time, or you can add them to a type of collection. Like, for example, if I TJ's on, so I'm gonna add all her patterns. And I'm gonna say TJ. I spelled that right. I'll put Stitch Happy also. And you could add a tag. Usually you'd only want to add a tag if they were consistent throughout, and these patterns are kind of varied. So, and then we'll hit start upload, and it uploads them pretty quick. And there we go. So, and I think oh, here come the rest of them. I exited that screen before it finishes uploading. It's if you have, especially if you're uploading a lot, you'll notice it'll say finished as soon as it finishes one, but then it's continuing to upload in the background more of them. So there, I started with 2, and I uploaded I think 20 from TJ, so that equals 22. So if you're uploading a whole bunch, let that be a lesson that it can take a little bit for them to upload, but they will be uploading in the background, and you can be doing other things while that's happening. So in here you can tag patterns. You know, a lot of tags are already done. Like TJ's already tagged that this one is a flower. If the tags are pink, that means a designer tag. If they're blue, it means it's a cloud tag that other quilters have selected, and that the pattern cloud managers, tag managers, have gone through and approved as good tags for this pattern. And so then those tags are shared with everyone, and it helps everyone to be able to find their pattern. I might say, well, it'd be good for this to be a daisy pattern. It is a pretty decent idea to always use lowercase. The software will handle it whether you use upper or lower, but just for consistency, it's probably best to use lowercase. And then you could add some notes. You could add it to a collection. Usually you won't do that. Typically you'll just be adding tags. This looks like a block pattern to me. So I'll click block. And I'll click save. And you'll see that the software, as you upload patterns, if it realizes which author it's with, it will automatically fill out who they're by. And if you want to know more things by that person, you can just click that, and it'll just show the stuff in your collection that are by that artist. Let's see, you can look at your collections. You know, right now I just have some things by TJ and collections, but if you have different artists and different collections, you can organize them this way by coming into collections. I don't have any sets. Sets are things you buy in the cloud, and I'll show you that here in a minute. You can get a whole bunch of patterns if you register your stitchers. And if you ever register a stitcher, it'll show up here underneath the stitchers tab. And it shows I have 0. But it tells you how to do it here. That you would go to Creative Studio, you go under File, Gamble Pattern Cloud, and Register Stitcher to account. And then it would show up here. And this will allow you to be able to get all of the starter patterns that come with your Statler. And also, as they change or new ones are added, they'll be updated here on PatternCloud, and you can come in here and hit Copy Starter Pattern. But if you have an Elevate, you basically do the same thing. You'll come up here to the upper right, hit Register Your Elevate, and then the next time you hit Sync, it'll register your Elevate. And so I'll show you what this screen looks like. I think I can show you real quick. If you have pattern or stitchers registered. Okay, so this is a another PatternCloud account I have. that has the actual registered stitchers. And so if you heard that Game Over is releasing new patterns, you can come in here and say copy to account on both these. Like recently, the mask patterns that we released, the easiest way to get them was to come onto this page, My Cloud Stitchers, and then copy to account. And then it would add the one or two that you were missing. Okay. You can shop for patterns here. There's 6,600 patterns for sale. So you can search, let's just say ribbons. Ribbon. And then you see a lot of ribbon patterns. And that one kind of catches my eye, so I'll click that. And here you can see that if it's encrypted to the machine or to the user, it costs less than if you get it encrypted to anything. Because if it's encrypted to the user, you can only use it if you are logged in to that device, like to your Elevate or to your Creative Studio is the only way you can use it. If it's encrypted to the machine, it has to be registered on that list I showed you earlier of registered devices. On mine that I showed you, I had an Elevate. Here, I'll pull this back. I have an Elevate and Creative Studio. So if I bought this and it was encrypted to my Statler, I could still sew it on my Elevate because I have both of these are linked and synced together. Okay, I'm going to click User. Pops up that it's added to your cart, and then it'll show up in the upper right that there is one item in your cart. So let's go look at pattern sets. Here you can find lots of pattern sets. Usually it's a slightly better deal to buy them and together, and plus the designer has to pick them because they go well together. Like here is a log cabin set by Karen Farnsworth, and again an example of if I want to be able to stitch it anywhere, it's 50, but if I encrypt it just to my user account, it's 40. Okay. Now, and when you're in a set, you can go into any of the individual patterns and look at them in more detail. And also with anything, any of the things in PatternCloud, once you click on this view, if you can zoom in and out and look at particular areas if you'd want to. Let's see, what else about the store? There's a designer search is pretty helpful. It lists off all the pictures of the designers, and so if you knew you wanted a certain designer style, you could click on them. Like I'll click on Karen Marchetti, and it gives a little bio about her, and then it shows the patterns that she has for sale, and here from here I can click on that, and again I'll get it encrypted to the user. This saves me some money. And then when you're ready to check out, you can shop for as long as you want, but when you're ready to check out, you can click your cart and then hit checkout. You can zoom through things and you can remove an item if you wanted to. Let's say I decided that this Karen Marchetti one kind of suited my border needs better than this Sharon Sweetland one, and so I could remove this pattern. And now I only have 2 items. So now I'm going to go check out. Again, it shows you the everything that's you have in your cart. You can remove them. Again, you have the option to do that. If you have any PatternCloud coupons, occasionally those go out when you buy a machine. So you know, buy a machine and you get a coupon for the PatternCloud. So hey, that's a really good deal, huh? So we're going to check out, and everything checking out is through PatternCloud, or I'm sorry, through PayPal. All very secure. All uses all the standard PayPal protocols for passing the information back and forth. We never see any of your credit card or banking information, and we don't want to see. That's one of the reasons we like PayPal. They pass back a secure token that the transaction is complete. I'm not actually going to go through with the PayPal process, but I think you get the idea. Once you click that, it would then add them back into your it'd show up in your cloud and your patterns. Those patterns you purchased would be there. And then you could go to your Elevate and hit sync, and those new patterns would come over to your Elevate. Or you could do what we're going to do now is you could go to Creative Studio, and these new patterns that we just uploaded will come over. So this is Creative Studio, not logged in. You can see this avatar silhouette is on the Patterns tab. And so I'm going to click Login. And then I'm going to type in, let's see what oh yeah, Cyber Quilts, gmail.com. Oops. Okay. It realizes we don't have any patterns yet, so it wants to offer to copy starter patterns. Since I'm not registered, this will only bring over like around 200 patterns for you to play with and get used to. Once you've registered your Elevate or your Creative Studio, you'll have a lot more patterns. But for now, I'm just going to hit PatternCloud Sync. And let me X out of this just for a second so you can see another way to get to this, because you wouldn't get that little handy pop-up box. Once you've logged in, it'll just that won't come up again. It only shows up when you first log in. So when you normally come onto Creative Studio, after you've logged in like I just did, you'll have a cloud here with an up and down arrow. So if you've bought patterns, what you want to do, or you've uploaded patterns or whatever you've done, you want to come under here and hit sync, and you'll get to that same screen. It'll go in and calculate how many patterns are on PatternCloud and what are they different from what's on Creative Studio. And it says we have 22 on PatternCloud, which is exactly what we uploaded, and none in Creative Studio. So we're going to hit Start Sync. And then we wait for a little bit. If you have hundreds, it can take a little while. And there's all those patterns, all 22 of them that we had in PatternCloud. And the syncing process is very similar in Elevate. that's what I wanted to show you all. I'll look through and see if there's any questions. And if anybody else has any questions, go ahead and please type them. We have a question here. With CS7 now, is it okay to use the internet on my Statler to go to the pattern cloud and purchase patterns, or should I only be using the laptop? No, you can use your Statler to go to pattern cloud. As with anything on the internet, you need to be responsible and careful. I wouldn't put do not put your email on it. Don't be surfing the internet or anything like that. But PatternCloud is a very secure site, and so it's all encrypted. All the data passing back and forth between Creative Studio and PatternCloud is encrypted, just like bank style encryption is. So it's very safe. So there's it's a very useful tool. So yes, we are encouraging people to go ahead and get their Statler computers on the internet so they can take full advantage of the Pattern Cloud. It's a unique thing that only Gamble has, and it'd be a shame to not take full advantage of it. And this person asks, is it okay if I get Pattern Cloud before I get my computerized machine? Yes, definitely. You can do that, and you can even get Creative Studio before you get your machine too, and you will get those starter patterns that I mentioned earlier. Here's another way to get those starter patterns, since I didn't get them right in the beginning. You click under the heart paper, and then you hit Copy Starter Patterns to Account. And down in the bottom, you'll see it's moving them, copying them. It moves them a little differently than it does sync, but we'll see how much the number jumps up. So it jumped up to 298. So it looks like 276 starter patterns for you to play with and get started with, and try different things. Definitely is, and the main reason we're making that freely available for Creative Studio and PatternCloud is so that you can do that, so that you can play with these things and try them without having to have any purchase. So you can determine if this is what you want to do, and we think you will find that you will like it, and then hopefully you'll later purchase a Stitcher. Okay. This person asked, could you go over the choices of machine, user, and any when purchasing patterns again, and what do each mean? So the so if it's encrypted to any, that means that it typically will be the most expensive, and it's set up so that anybody can sew it on any Creative Studio, any Styler Stitcher, or Elevate can open and sew that pattern. If it's encrypted to the user, you have to be logged in to use it. And so if I wasn't logged in and I loaded that pattern, then I would not be able to sew it. And same thing with machine. There's serial numbers in the machines, in the Elevate, and in the Statler controller that are unique to every machine. And so those patterns are encrypted to that physical piece of hardware. So they will only be able to be sewn on that machine. You technically could open up a pattern that is encrypted to someone else's machine, but the color of it would be dark gold. Both in this left-hand column, it have a dark gold background, maybe dark gold over here, and then even in PatternCloud, it would be dark gold also there, and that would indicate that you don't own that pattern, and so therefore you can't sew it. You can still play with it. As a matter of fact, that kind of gets me thinking of something I should demonstrate to y'all. So here I'm going to go into the store. And so here's several patterns that I might want to try out. And so I'm going to say, let's try out this fish edge to edge. Okay, so I'm going to grab it and drag it over. And then I can zoom in. I can look at it and see how it's gold instead of black. A pattern you can sew is black, but one you can't is gold. And whenever you try to virtually stitch it, come up with this message. The next pattern is not encrypted to your stitcher or user ID. So it's not encrypted to the machine, and it's not encrypted to the user. So it's not sewable. But it's useful to be able to play around with patterns and try them. Maybe I want to see what this pattern looks like in an edge to edge. In fact, let me add a few more. Sorry, I forgot. You have to drag the patterns over for them to actually go into the project. There we go. Okay, let's try this. So I'm going to go into edge to edge. Sorry, I have to pick a pattern. Edge to edge. And then if you're running in SAM mode, it's a good idea to grid snap. So you do that by clicking G on the keyboard and just click out some reasonable size, enter the length, and it'll calculate what that pattern looks like. And you can dynamically switch it. And you can even play around with what it would look like if you alternated the pattern, if you decrease the vertical spacing. Oh, actually, nice. And stuff like that. So you can do quite a bit of playing around with PatternCloud and trying of patterns. Someone asked, why do some of my patterns have a yellow background? That means that they are encrypted to something, and it means you own them. So everything is good. You can use it just as you would like. That means it's a good pattern, ready to go. It's encrypted to either your user ID or to your machine. But your machine is registered, so and you are logged in, so everything is good. Someone asked, is there a way to see the newest patterns when you sync for the free patterns from Gaml? Let's see. I believe if you set it to newest first, then it comes to the front. Yeah, that's how I was finding the mask the other day. And Dwayne asked, do I need to do the Windows update on my Statler computer? Yeah, I'd say it's a good idea to keep doing the Windows updates. We haven't had any problems with the Windows updates causing any issues with Creative Studio. We have had a few issues with the Android updates causing problems with the Elevate app. So we're encouraging those users to not do those updates until we have a chance to review them. And we are going to be trying to more aggressively review those Android updates for the Elevate users. To get the newest first in Creative Studio, it's here underneath the gear, sort newest first. And in PatternCloud, I believe there's a way to do it. I guess, oh, here it is, yeah. Sort by date, newest first is right here. So there's alphabetical, there's newest first. If I upload a pattern, you see babies and booties is first. If I set to date, oldest first, it won't be there. Or if I set alphabetical, I set alphabetical backwards because otherwise it's going to be at the beginning because it's a number, so it's pretty early. So almost everything you can do in Creative Studio, you can also do in PatternCloud. So if you learn something like changing the order, or setting newest or oldest or alphabetical, you can do that over in Creative Studio too. You can set in both of them. You can change the size of the thumbnails. A lot of people don't know how to delete patterns. So it's here underneath display settings, show delete buttons, and you'll just hit the red X above it, and it'll say, "Are you sure you want to delete this pattern?" And it says okay. There is a thing with Creative Studio and PatternCloud that you have to delete them on both places before they actually delete. Otherwise, they'll just come back. It should show that you can hide delete buttons, and you can do multi-edits. So I'm going to pick multiple patterns here. I'm going to edit these all together, and I'm going to say alien, and we'll also just say I don't know, boy. Now if I go back, and you can get to them by clicking here in the left. I'm going to go back. And you can see alien boy is now a user tag. User tags are white, cloud tags are blue, and designer tags are pink. Let's see if there's anything else under here that we good to show. So print friendly, it takes away all the borders and stuff, so that then you could, like if you wanted to print a catalog, you could do that. It's similar to the catalog you can make through Creative Studio, but and that's what it's going to look like. Cut off, so I would probably use Creative Studio to do this. Any other questions? Okay, I guess not. Thank you all for being here today. We appreciate you all, and everybody stay safe and stay healthy during this time, and happy quilting.